Hi everyone, welcome to Unhinged Lunatic. My name is Stephanie, and if you've not been to my page, I do several different videos on depression, anxiety, triple PD, fibro, FND, Alice in Wonderland. You name it, I'm doing it. I have several different things, so I want to give kind of tips and tricks to other people, and I just want to be here to kind of be that middle barrier for people that just don't have access to therapy and things like that. And I am in no way a medical professional. Nothing that I'm saying here is for a diagnosis for you or anything like that. But if you relate to it, continue to watch and just I'm going to give you ways to test yourself out just to see, because a lot of doctors don't listen to us. They're just it's you can go through a rabbit hole of going to a doctor, and them just looking at you like you're a lunatic. And that's the reason why I call it unhinged lunatic. Because for years I've thought that I am off my rocker type of lunatic. So that's why it's unhinged lunatic. So today I want to talk about depression. And there's several different types of depression. And typically you think of, oh, they're just sad because something sad happened, or whatever the case is, when in reality there's so many different types of depression and we all deal with it completely different. And for you to better understand somebody that's going through depression, you need to ask questions. And for the person that's kind of going through depression, as hard as it is, you need to be vulnerable and be able to open up to somebody that's near you and be able to kind of express yourself, because we need to fight for ourselves. I know when you're depressed, it's really hard to be like, I want anything. I want to live. I want to go on that bike ride. You have no hopes, no dreams. You don't look forward to the future. You don't do anything. I have been there. I have legitimately laid in the bed and given up on myself and did not care. You feel like nobody loves you, nobody cares about you. Maybe family members, whatever, has completely deserted you, whatever the case is. But now is the time that you need to stand up for yourself. You need to fight for yourself. Fuck everyone else. I'm just going to put it out there. Fuck everyone else. You need to worry about you. So, you have this depression, whether it's you can have like seasonal depression, which we all know what it is, kind of when it gets gloomy outside, you're just like, I don't want to do anything. You can have major depressive disorder, persistent depressive disorder, disrupted mood dysregulation disorder. You can have bipolar depression, premenstrual depression, and that's kind of like major, like right before a woman gets her woman time, like you get really depressed and you go through all these fudged up emotions, and people's just like, oh, she's moody, she's on her period. But you don't understand, some women even get very depressed during that time, and it's just something that kind of happens. It just happens. But my big thing is like, when somebody has depression, 9 times out of 10 everybody just puts them into one category. They're just sad. They've given up. And depression can come from many things. It can come from childhood trauma. It can come from adult trauma. It can come from a work-related experience. It can come from family members, friends, a multitude of things. It's because at some point in our life, we have been cut down. Sorry, I had to get something to drink, but my big thing is, at some point in our life, something has happened to trigger this mood. We need to stop and think about what it was that triggered that specific thing. Say, for instance, for me, age 13, I went into state's custody. I lived there from 13 until 18. I think I went home like once or twice. I'm not going to get into the full details of my childhood trauma or anything like that, but that itself... Okay, sorry. I had a cat acting crazy. Anyway, so 13, I got put into state's custody. My whole world kind of got flipped upside down. I was kind of on my own, that sort of thing. And it kind of triggered depression. It triggered me feeling like I was unwanted, I was unloved, I was all these things. Now, as an adult, 20-something, 30-something years later, I'm sitting here like, okay, this is how I felt as a child. Why at age 43 do I still feel this way? And it's hard to like really look back and be like, well, I've legitimately went 40, 30 years feeling this way. Like that is really sad. And even though there was times that I like pushed it down and I was just living life and I was happy or whatever was going on, like those thoughts never go away. But the only thing that we can do as a human being is talk about those things to somebody. And sometimes it's not always fun to do it with a stranger, like a therapist or what have you. So you have to find like an outside source just to sit down and talk to, maybe somebody that's been through it too. And if we continue to hold these things inside and we never release them, we're never going to get better. We're going to stay in that depressed state because it's there. It's not being dealt with. You're not doing anything about it. It's just there and it's lingering. Now, it's talking about it going to make it better? No. No. Not all in its own. No. But the fact that you're reliving it and you're talking about the specific details of it, maybe sometimes you can get a different perspective on what it is that caused that to happen. So in my instance, okay, I went into state's custody at 13 because I started running away from home. Okay, why did I start running away from home? I'm not gonna speak on that, but I started running away from home for a specific reason. Now, that specific reason was never dealt with. It was never talked about. It was a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, done, over, you're sent away type thing. Now, the problem with that is it was never dealt with. So it's still lingering in the back of my head. But now I have to step back and like step myself in somebody else's shoes, into that other person's shoes on how I ended up where I was. And I have to wonder what they were going through in that instance to make a decision like that. How were they raised? What happened in their life for them just to be like, boop, to their child or to their loved one or what have you. You know, you have to really think about what that other person was going through, and you're going to think I'm crazy. You're going to be like, why would I do that? They're the hateful one that did that. They threw me away. Why would I do that? As a human being, you have to be somewhat compassionate, like you want somebody to be compassionate about you. We all make mistakes. We all fuck up. We all do things that are just unheard of. It's just what happens. So take a second, revert back to that memory, think about the whole situation. Yes, it hurts us. It hurts so fucking bad. I get that. But think about the other people that were involved in that maybe led them to make the decisions that they made in that moment. The first step to depression is forgiveness. Forgiveness for whatever that other person did to us to make us feel so unworthy, unloved, unwanted, all of these things. We must just forgive them, no matter what it is. And let me tell you, I've been through some shit. Forgive them. In the end, it's about your happiness. And if you continue to let these people control your life, because that's what you're doing, because you're sad all the time, you're just thinking about these things. It's horrific. If you continue to live in that rotation, that person is still winning. They're still winning, and you're still losing. And at some point, you have to stop that rotation and be like, no, no more. This is my life. This is where I'm at now in life. I'm not that little girl again. I am not in that position anymore. So you need to stop in that moment and take your life back. Take it back. Stop living there. Stop allowing them to win, to continue to break you down, destroy you, make you feel unloved, unwanted. The first step is forgiveness. And then you need to learn to love yourself. You did nothing wrong. It's not your fault. Love yourself. Give yourself just a little bit of grace. Now, if you like videos like this and you want to hear more about depression and things like that, click that follow button. I will continue to make more videos, especially on depression, because it's something that I deal with on a daily basis. And we can work together. Leave a comment if you want me to speak on anything particular. But just remember, give yourself a little bit of grace. Just believe in yourself, love yourself, even if nobody else does, even if you believe nobody else does. Love yourself. Fuck them.